A new version of the Exult engine was released for the Vita, so I thought it would be a good time to dig out my copy of the Ultima collection and see how a few of these games perform on the go. Exult is an open source implementation of the engine behind Ultima VII The Black Gate and Serpent. These two games are notoriously difficult to get running on old hardware or even on DOSBox, so an engine overhaul is definitely welcome. The project has been in development on and off for about 2 decades, and can play through both games and expansions to completion with no cheats required, though they can be enabled in the Exult setup if you like. So Exult has Ultima VII covered, but what about the rest of the collection, or at least some of the rest? For that, we look at another open source project called ScummVM. ScummVM, the multi-engine game interpreter, has built-in support for much more than just the LucasArts Scum engine games over the years. In addition to the classic point-and-click adventures, ScummVM will also run Ultima IV Quest of the Avatar, Ultima VI The False Prophet, and Ultima VIII Pagan. The latest stable build of ScummVM is available on their downloads page. Over there you'll also notice a relatively new Other Engines build that has support for a bunch of other titles. Most of these won't run correctly on the Vita or will run too slowly to be playable. However, this could change in the future as more development takes place. Adding games to ScummVM is simple. If you have the correct data files, ScummVM will auto-detect the appropriate game and apply any game-specific options. A few versions ago, the mass add feature also appealed on mobile builds, so you can have it scan a whole directory for any number of games. To see which files are required for your game, check the list on the ScummVM Supported Games Wiki page linked below. Some games, like Ultima IV for example, have multiple supported versions or subversions. Here you can play the original or the enhanced release. With games like Ultima IV, there are quite a few times when you're going to need to bring up the on-screen keyboard by pressing the select key. It's a little clunky, but it's not really as cumbersome as I would have thought. One quirk to keep in mind though is that it is very much an on-screen keyboard, so if there's a situation where you'd be hitting the enter key, such as after typing your player name, you'll need to press the on-screen enter key too. Well, the intro for Ultima VI played fine, but the game seemed to have some sort of strange timing error. It may have been a configuration error on my end or something, but I have to confess I didn't really give it another try. I just don't like Ultima VI, and I was looking forward to seeing how Ultima VIII Pagan played. There was a bit of loading time, but after that Ultima VIII runs pretty great on the Vita. I don't really know why I'm surprised though. Maybe it's the faint memories of how poorly it played on my old DOS PC as a kid.
You have been a thorn in my side for far too long, Avatar. Your 2 worlds will be crushed. Britannia first, then Earth. I shall parade you before their conquered peoples as the fallen idol of a pathetic ideal.
You can find Exult on the homebrew stores like EasyVPK, but check the GitHub release page to get the most recent version. Over there you can also find the README, which has the handy list of the map buttons. You'll want to take note of these or configure your own key bindings in the exult.cfg file because the control scheme is a little complex. Somewhere buried deep in my brain are faint memories of me trying to squeeze out every spare kilobyte of RAM to get Ultima VII running on my old DOS PC. Exult makes it much easier. From what I can tell, it supports every version of Ultima VII and its various expansions and add-ons. Install or extract the games on your PC, and then copy the folder name static to the appropriate directory on the Vita. If you have one of the Ultima VII releases divided into Part 1 and 2, with the Forged Silver Seed add-ons built in, copy the static folder to the base game folder. The add-ons will load automatically. Once it's loaded up, Exult will show which titles are detected up top, and if there's more than one, you can choose which title to launch. This engine is clearly a labor of love project, so it's full of configuration options if you want to poke around, but none of that is really necessary if you just want to get to playing. It works pretty well out of the box, with just a few slowdowns every now and again. Exult on the Vita is a great way to experience the open world weirdness that is Ultima VII. I personally can't really recommend playing through Ultima IV or Ultima VI, as I've always found the game mechanics a little bit dated, but I can't recommend ScummVM more. It's a project any retro gamer should check out if they haven't already, and it's a great way to play through Ultima VIII.